Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to go over yesterday and today's trades. I'm a little bit disappointed for yesterday's trades. Honestly, I did fuck up and I'm going to own up to that. And you guys will see in a second on the 3 trades I took, but today I took 1 trade and that was a green trade. So let's get right into it. So I did get a third monitor. I'm pretty hyped because now I have my scanner up on the screen. So that way all my monitors are connected and I don't have to flip between screens. It's a lot of delay, or a couple second delay between when I start trading and having to place an order. So it's just really helpful having one screen just to look at. So I'm really stoked about that. But we'll get right into it. So the first stock I traded yesterday morning was a penny stock, ATCH. ATCH pops up on the scanner. There was some news because of some sort of partnership with investment. I think they got like $500,000 investment from what I was reading. So, I was like, okay, penny stock to start the day. I felt pretty comfortable. I took my first trade on this candle right here. I added up to 1,000 shares. It's going to be $200. I got up to 22 cents for my average cost. I was looking for a cushion of $20. So I only wanted this to move up 2 cents. I didn't want this to move up. I mean, obviously, if it moved up even more, I wouldn't have minded. But I was looking for about 22 cents, so that way I can get about $20. It didn't really reach that until later in the morning, and it would have required me holding, like 15 minutes, but I'm not comfortable with holding too much. Sometimes with the penny stocks, they do, and they can move up, but that's dependent on, the price action of that, penny stock itself. I was able to get out in high 23s. And I was able to get at least some $12. I was close to $20. It wasn't really reaching 24 just yet. It was some resistance, but did end up breaking. So I was like, okay, $12 to start the day. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll take that. Just to start the day. This is where things started taking a turn for the worse. So I took a trade on XXII. XXII is, I believe, a consumer product company. Yeah, consumer staples on tobacco. So the stock has made an okay move in the past, and I was like, okay, let's see where this can go. It did sell off in the beginning when news came out, and then it rallied back up. And here's maybe where it should have been my warning, like, hey, this is not a good trade. So it squeezes up past this candle right over here, right, and it rejects the 307 mark. It goes down. I take a trade right here. I don't know what I was thinking. Why did I take this trade right here? I don't know. I saw that this float was low. The liquidity is starting to ramp up a little bit. So I was like, okay, hope maybe, there'll be some buyers. And this stock can get going. It is lower float. Sometimes the stock will, people will jump on a trade if there's nothing going on. This was a slow morning. I feel like for me, I think things didn't really pick up until maybe, or from what I was seeing on the stock, not until like 6 a.m., closer to the opening bell. So I was like, okay, let's hopefully get traders get into this. But that's where my thinking was wrong. The news was nothing, biotech, nothing, or nothing biotech, which I'm going to call it, or crazy good news like, private placement of like $1 billion or anything that's good for the company. This is all the news was. They just announced shipments for their product to their top 5 chain stores. So I was like, okay, wait, let me see what this says. Store locations across the 12 states. So it's like, okay, nothing to be excited about. And I was like, all right, this was not a good stock to get into. And I lost a couple dollars. I believe I lost $47. I did take 200 shares on this, and I didn't get out to here. I should have been out way sooner. But this is where my stop was, and I was like, okay, nothing's going to happen with the stock. It was dead. The volume was just already not there to begin with. So that was mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 was AIMR. So this one, was it AIMR? Let me see. This is my P&L for the day. For the day and for yesterday. Sorry, I'm trying to go. AIMD. My bad. AIMD. Okay, so for AIMD, this is where I feel like my idea wasn't bad. I don't think the idea was bad, but given the circumstance of how the stock dropped off after this initial pop-up, it made, this whole candle, its whole move pretty much got retraced completely, or more than half. I took a trade right here. I was looking at it. I was watching level 2. I was like, okay, let's, I didn't see any big sellers. I really didn't. But I was hoping for a break up to this level and to the VWAP. I started taking trades at the VWAP, thinking that this would squeeze up, the green candle. I'm like, okay, this can still, has a chance to rally and make another high, or at least surpass these highs. I was hoping for this. I thought this was really going to go, and I don't know. It just flushed. It rejected, jackknife down. Not so much. It could have been worse, but I was just sitting there thinking, fuck, why didn't this work? Well, let's see the news. So news yesterday, expected company earnings. Well, one of them was that they got approval to initiate a study for the Sjögren's syndrome. It's an autoimmune disease. So I was like, okay, maybe that's some good news. Maybe investors will jump in on this after this initial pullback right here. It did pull back pretty far. And I know sometimes if it's pulled back at least more than half, or at least half, usually it's not going to be a good run from what Ross has said before. But I have seen instances where it still ends up rallying back up. So I don't think my idea was bad in terms of trying to trade for the VWAP breakout and making profit. I was hoping for maybe taking profit at least here, since my average would have been around 290. This would have been about 20 cents. It would have been the target goal, but it didn't. It didn't work out. And honestly, I lost $126 on this trade. I took 300 shares. I think the mistake too was also going in a little bit too heavy even after that third trade. So the first trade was green, second trade was red. After that second trade, I should start to be more preservative, and trade with smaller size. That is a warning sign. So with AAUD, this was today's stock. Today I did pretty good. I would say this was not a bad trade. So why did AAUD pop up? So this popped up, let's see, 6 in the morning. This popped up early in the morning. The news was already at 3 a.m. my time, but traders started getting on this. Who knows? Things were getting a little bit slower around this time, and I was looking at the news. I was like, okay, this is not something that is to be bullish about. So this is what I mean. This news, it's nothing crazy. I mean, non-binding letter of intent for business combination. So this is just information about ownership with equity holders. Honestly, nothing in here is, I mean, they're even saying that they'll be raising at least $10 million of additional capital to fund ongoing business. So that to me sounds like possible dilution in the future. Who knows? I don't know. This headline didn't really strike as appealing to me. But hey, it popped up, volume came in, and it popped up on the scanner. So this pops up in the beginning, right? Pulls back. So I remembered my lesson from yesterday. Pulled back, and the days before. Waited for this squeeze. I saw this candle squeeze up. I took my first trade right here. And I exited the top of this candle. I think I sold a little bit too soon, but I got around $44 or $43 on the first trade. Then I was watching the stock on the 10-second chart. I'm also looking at this at the 1 minute chart. It was still pretty good. MACD was open. So I'm focusing solely on the 10-second to get this second pullback in. So this is going. I was like, okay, this is way too soon to be entering here. I wait for this pullback right here. I don't get in here because, hey, this could flush still. I need confirmation that this is going to pull up. I'd rather wait for confirmation than anticipate that, hey, this is going to for sure go up, when sometimes this could have flushed. This could have flushed. And hey, the MACD was still negative. I thought this would be positive. It was positive on the 1 minute chart. So it was still good. So this pops up, I get in here, and I sell on this candle, and I think it was for $39. So I got around $84 on the day for some profit. And then this began to unwind, didn't make any moves. So I would say between yesterday and today was a lot better in terms of my trading process. So this is the P&L for the month right now. Then $19. I was down quite a lot this month before today, but now we're back. We're getting to the driver's seat now, and I'm still red on the week, but I'm gonna take my time. I have to start off slow. Sorry, I burped. So tomorrow's trade, I have to be a bit more preservative. For these next couple weeks, I have to be preservative until I get a cushion, if not the whole month. But I also can't short myself on the profit, which I felt like I did on AAUD. And this is sometimes it's like, okay, this is gonna hold up a little bit more. I didn't want to take 200 shares because this was the first trade on the day. So this was the only trade I took on today's. I wanted to take more shares, but what if I took 200 shares and it flushed down? What if this move didn't hold? Who knows? So I had to play it safe, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get this on the pullback, and that's exactly what I did. And it did pull back again, and if I had another shares, I likely would have done the same, but didn't really make any big moves after that. So, the first two moves are usually the best from what, obviously, like in my trading experience and seeing how Ross trades, usually the first two moves are the strongest, and anything from there is, not really the best. But yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm excited for the options chains, and yeah, things are getting pretty volatile in the markets. Starting to head to, a sell-off, a mini sell-off, but we'll always recover. So not worried. But yeah, hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day and get enough sleep, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Has to be a green day. Gotta manifest. It's gonna be a green day. All right. Cool. Take care. Good night.